Hi everyone! Thanks for joining me today and welcome to Crafting on the Horizon. My name is Angelica and today I want to inspire you by getting creative with some budget-friendly tools. You don't need a professional studio to make beautiful art. Take a look at this. This painting was created on the fly last month at one of my events. Now, normally we don't have the time or the tools to create like this during our public meetups, but on this day we did. One of my students brought in a couple of pictures she found inspiring, and with items that I found in my car, we were able to play with our backgrounds. Let me show you. So we started by painting our background one solid color. So today I'm going to use this teal mint. And I'm just going to paint it one solid color. I'm not really going for anything in particular here today. We're just going to experiment. I just want one color for my background. Remember, if you're using mixed media paper like I am, you might want to dampen your brush a little more than usual. And all we're doing here is we're going to play an experiment. All right, so while that dries, I want to go over a few items that I had laying around. So I had some Q-tips. So you can get Q-tips anywhere and they're fairly cheap. You can buy them at the Dollar Tree. So these are awesome for making little dots. And you can also strap a few of them together. I put some together with a rubber band here. And you can make different shapes, but a whole bunch of dots together. And you can kind of shape them any way you want. Earlier I was working with like a pyramid shape, but I wanted something that was more random. So I'm going to show you with just a single Q-tip. This is pretty dry. What it would look like. So I'm just going to add some dots, and you can usually get like 2 or 3 dots out of one dip in your paint. It looks something like that. Now going in with all of these Q-tips at once, we'll get a different pattern. I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use white, I think, on these. And see how they're not exactly dots. They can give you different patterns. This one kind of looks a little like a honeycomb to me. All right. So the next thing that I have is painter's tape. And I'm going to have to let some of this dry a little. But with our painter's tape, you can get this. I got this one in particular at the Dollar Tree. It was like $1.25. And it does pretty well. It only comes in one width, which is fine. So what I did here was I just tore it in half. And what I'm gonna do is show you that we can make fairly straight lines with this if you get it just right. So I'm gonna tape it right about here. And then you just want to make sure that you get a good seal on it. So make sure that this is adhering to our paper. And then I'm just going to take a brush. And let me get some of this water off. It's just going to be a damp brush. And I'm going to go into my magenta here. And I'm just going to paint over it. Oh. And I don't have to worry about how I'm painting on the outer side of this. So I just kind of scribble my brush around a little bit. I'm just trying not to mix in with that white. And this is really transparent, so I'm going to give it some time to dry there. And that should create a straight line for us. The next thing that I wanted to do with this tape was show you how to create some mountains. I'm actually going to turn this paper around. And I'm going to tape this down right here. So using the opposite side, up here we use this straight line. Using this opposite side down here, I'm going to make sure that this is taped down pretty well, just like we did the first time around. And I'm going to use a different color. I think I'm going to use a blue. And we're going to create a mountain chain. What's fun about this is that you can layer this. Let me show you how. I'm going to take that blue and I'm just going to paint right down here. We're just going over everything that we painted. It's pretty dry. And again, this is just examples of what you can do. I want you to take what you see here and try it for yourself. I'm just going to paint like this. And again, we'll give that a chance to dry. I'm going to remove this one and let's see if we get a straight line. So what I like to do is kind of lift it from the edge here and pull it towards me at an angle. I don't know if you can see that right here. So we get a fairly straight line with that. I'm just going to tape this right up here. Same thing should happen here. So this is going to be, we're going to pull in the opposite direction, so I'm going to pull upwards instead of towards me. And this isn't fully dry down here, but that's okay. So I'm just going to pull just like this. Right. So we created a little bit like a mountain there. So what I'm going to do is I can continue making mountains. And we want that to show through. So I'm going to go move this tape slightly over here. Just like this. Tape it down again. Like I said, that paint underneath is still a little wet in certain places. So we're taping directly over what we already made. And I'm going to get a little bit of my blue with a little bit some black, make a darker color here, and paint down, just like we did earlier. So then I'm going to give that a chance to dry. And what should happen is we should have 2 layers of mountains. And I hope that it works because I didn't give it a whole lot of time to dry underneath. So I'm hoping that it doesn't lift too much for us. And again, pulling upwards, pulling away from me. And see how you can go through and create a nice little mountain chain. All right. So with the next thing that I have that I wanted to share with you is a little plastic butter knife. Now, these are really fun to work with. So you can use any part of this butter knife to create some really cool textures. I'm going to go into some gold here. So I have gold just on the edge of my butter knife. And you can use the forks, the spoons, anything that you have laying around, or straight from the Dollar Tree, you can get a whole package of these very inexpensively and play with them. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to lay this flat and I'm going to pull it. And it just gives your background some different character. And see how that comes out with little lines when you use the sharp side. Just like that. So you can add all these different textures to your background and then add whatever you're going to paint over it. Right. So I also have 2 more things for you guys. I have a paper towel roll here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my paint and I'm going to just paint over my paper towel roll just like this. And then I'm just going to use it as a stamp. Just like that. And we can overlap these, whatever you want to do to create a background. All right. And then the last thing that I have for you is a plastic bag, just a plastic shopping bag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with air and squeeze it down. And then I'm just going to twist the edge here. So that way we get a balloon. And it creates a lot of interesting shapes. And I'm going to dip it into some paint. And then I'm just going to stamp it down. And press kind of hard, roll it around a little bit. Oh. And it'll give you some different textures for your background. But my paper looks really messy. And that's okay. I'm just trying to give you guys some ideas and inspiration. And, well, my paint was really wet still. But I think you guys get the idea. So, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any of your own budget-friendly art ideas in the comments. And don't forget to join me next week for another helpful tip. Thanks again for watching. Bye.